Hey guys, welcome back, it's Maverick here, and we are now watching another episode of Majo no Tabitabi. So, last episode, it started out kinda sorta like a mystery, if you will, but it turned out to be a farce more than anything else. The most interesting thing that came out of all of it was that it was actually, the characters within it, Sheila specifically, was actually related to a former acquaintance of Elaina. In this particular case, Sheila was the teacher, I should say, the teacher of Saya, right? So I do think that this kind of situation is going to be more and more prominent going forward, because, you know, statistically, the more you travel, the more likely you are to meet someone related with someone you have seen in the past, right? And that only makes sense. So let's just get into the episode and see if that proves to be the case in this one. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. We are entering the, this episode contains explicit content that may be inappropriate for younger viewers. Okay, then. Wieners? I was about to say, we are entering into the last third of the anime. At least this season, anyways. So maybe there's going to be some sort of, big arc coming up. And hey, potentially? With the specific warning at the beginning there, does this mean that we're gonna get into something spicy? A deep sorrow from the past, eh? How do you make money anyways? Oh. Okay, and that's not suspicious at all. Ooh. Another cute witch. Actually, it looks like Elaina with her haircut. Ooh. Oh. Ah. So another genius kind. Oof. Murder. Okay, so we're actually getting into, well, never mind. It's, well, considering that we did have a warning in this episode, beginning of this episode, I'm assuming that this is actually going to be the real thing. Yeesh. Wait. I can understand stabbing somebody. Did she eat him? Yeah. Caught and executed. So what now? Hmm. Save that girl? What? Time travel? Hmm. Well, considering that we were shown time magic before, right? Back when Elaina was fixing the roof tiles and all that. Hmm. So, what exactly are you gonna sacrifice? Oh, we did see that before, right? Like sacrificing your voice in order to complete a country level magic. So Elaina has to be the one to do things. Using Elena's magic? Hmm. I have to say, I don't know if that's how this story's gonna turn out, but what if, like, she's not telling the entire truth and everything? You're awfully trusting of her, Elaina. Yeesh. It's one way? Oh. Okay. Huh. Surprisingly wholesome. Alright. Check the time. Okay. But anytime we deal with... Alright. So they can automatically go back. Anytime time magic is involved, or time travel is involved, I do have to wonder about the mechanics, right? The particular mechanics of the time travel. Because there's various versions of time travel. Some of which she can complete her plan, some of which she can't. Then again, this is more fantasy than sci-fi, so it's easier to just hand wave away some certain mechanics. Okay. Okay. It's a parallel timeline thing. Okay. But technically, if infinite timelines existed in the first place, there would already be a future where that happens. You know, I actually really like Selena. But he doesn't appear. Was it Selena all the time? Or is Estella... Hmm. Oh. What the hell? Yeah, it was Selena. The entire time. Damn. I still don't get it. Why would she have blood on her mouth? Yeah, I was wondering why the dad would notice, like, the shape of her neck and nape that much. Your ass is below the surface, girl. You might want to do something already. Oof. Hi. The fuck? Yeah, I think... Oh. And holy hell, what is this little girl's body made of? Nope. She's using the rest of her life. Oh, her memories. This she completely forgot everything about all of this. Mm-hmm. I mean, what were you supposed to do, though? I mean, okay. Well, that was certainly, something, huh? I'll see you guys after this. Well, that certainly took a turn for the dark, right? Good on them for actually putting up a warning at the beginning of this episode. I certainly was not expecting it, even though they already mentioned it, I certainly wasn't expecting it to turn out to be this gory and all that. Well, can't we really call it gory? Actually, it was kind of okay. It's more of the atmosphere of it that that kind of unsettles people, right? And certainly I wasn't expecting a series like this one, which has been lighthearted and fun so far, and even in the last episode where they kind of sort of hinted at a murderer on the loose and whatnot, it turned out to be just, just a figure of speech, and, at the end of the day, it was just a crazy person going around doing, I guess, technically harmless things, right? So suddenly having a situation like this where there is someone going around and killing people, and then we get the entire situation of you killing your best friend and all that, that was certainly a turn for the dark. I guess I can't really say it's a turn for the dark, though, because that'll have to depend on the episodes following this one. Like, are we going to get even more episodes after this, even more stories after this that have the same level of darkness to them, right? So we'll have to see about that. But certainly this was unexpected. And I do like that they, was it all that unexpected? Kinda not, right? Because we could certainly, even at the very beginning, because they made this warning up there, we already know that this is going to turn out to be a more graphical sort of episode, right? And throughout the entire episode itself, there was something fishy about the entire situation. Now, I will admit, I was actually putting more of my suspicion on Estella instead. I thought that the way, she was going about this and sort of kind of in a crazy way, was, giving off all sorts of alarm warnings to me. So I was more, and especially since in this episode we have more time spent with Estella, right? So my suspicion was more on Estella. But for it to turn out to be Selena in the end, I can't really say I'm all that surprised, right? Because they did show us already within the opening segments that, we saw how Selena turned out, right? So there very well could have been a situation where she turned even earlier. So I can't really say it's all that big of a surprise there. I do like, however, the fact that they sort of foreshadowed the abuse that she got, right? Like, for instance, there's, one particular scene that stood out to me was when Estella was talking to Selena's parents, and the father was like, oh yeah, I do see that you resemble Estella very much, right? The shape of your nape, the shape of your neckline and whatnot resembles her. I was like, dude, you are certainly observing another person's child very, very closely, right? To make that kind of observation. So it did turn out to be, in the end, yeah, the dad was a pervert and probably did some unsavory things to his own daughter and whatnot. So I did like that they had that sort of hint there, right? Now, putting aside all the other stuff, I'm sure everybody wants to talk about, the crux of the actual meat of the story, right? The elephant in the room, like what happened to Selena and how sad and dark of a story this is. However, and I know I'm gonna sound sort of cold and heartless by saying this, I feel that the outcome of this episode was or is already the best outcome possible, right? There is maybe one specific scenario where we can say there's a better ending than this one, but that requires a lot of effort, a lot of work, and only that single one. For the rest, I think this is about as good as it can get, right? There was one innocent bystander that was involved in all this, and that is Elaina. Maybe she's traumatized by this. But think about it. Estella, sure, she killed her friend twice, right? But now she has no memories of it remaining anymore, right? She doesn't have to suffer the guilt, and she doesn't have to suffer the sort of sense of betrayal and all that, right? You could say that this is running away from the problem, but I would actually argue that this might, in the long run, be better for her mental health, if we look at it objectively, right? Especially considering the fact that these murders can't be reversed anymore, right? The fact that Selena killed all these people and that she was already dead in their original timeline, that can't really change, right? The fact that she doesn't have any memory of this case anymore, I really don't think that's a bad thing, right? And think about it. Why do I say that this is the best possible outcome out of all this? Because think of all the other different alternatives here. Like, what if Selena and Elaina simply did nothing, right? They simply returned to the world. Think about it. They can't actually stay in that timeline and try and take care of Selena, right? Try to talk with her, try to work this through with her and whatnot. They are on a limited time there, right? It's not like they can continue to do all that. What would most likely happen if they had not killed her there is that there would be more victims from Selena, because she's already a goner at that stage in time. You're not going to be able to turn her back at that point. She's already turned into a mass murderer. You can't revert that. So you have to deal with it, or else it's, even if you don't take care of her, the Estella from that particular timeline would probably be called upon to kill her, to kill Selena once again in the future, right? And so with that, you have two timelines, Estella's, that have to shoulder this guilt and this responsibility and whatnot. Whereas in this sort of aspect, where the Estella from this timeline went to that timeline and killed Selena, now that timeline's Estella is actually protected, so she doesn't have to bear that on her conscience anymore, right? You guys get what I'm saying? If we go through, the fact that there might be infinite timelines and infinite Estellas and whatnot, at least only one Estella has to suffer, and she isn't really suffering anymore because she lost her memories, right? So, that's from that perspective, it's best if Estella does the killing. What would happen if it was Elaina doing the killing, right? Well, then you would have to traumatize Elaina because she had to do something like that. I highly doubt she's ever killed anyone else before. So, she has to shoulder that guilt and that thing on her conscience and whatnot that will traumatize her. Estella, it's not going to get any better for her. She not only was not able to save Selena, she also, she's also going to, feel betrayed and all that. And yet, at the same time, she is still going to have to watch Selena die twice in front of her eyes, once again, even if she was not the killer, right? Is that going to be a better outcome? I don't think so. So, asking Elaina to kill Selena is certainly out of the question as well. So, if we can't actually let Selena go, and we can't let Elaina kill her, then the only logical conclusion would be for Estella to kill Selena and, and forget her memories, right? So that's why I'm saying that this is pretty much the best possible outcome out of this situation here. The only other outcome I would say would be better than this one would be if they somehow find a way to go back all the way back in time to when Selena was first starting to get abused by her parents, right? And save her from that. That is the only way, the only outcome I feel would be better than what we have right now. Although I guess technically there is an alternative which doesn't involve Elaina, but I think that's too late because, you know, she's already involved. At the very least, this happening, right? This particular incident is going to be burned into her memory. So, you know, the trauma is already there, right? You can sort of try and lessen it, but indeed, I think, you know, this is pretty much as best an outcome as we can have in a very, very unfortunate and very sad situation, right? Don't get me wrong, you know, I do feel sympathy for them, you know, for Estella having to go for all that, for Selena having to go for all that, and then for Elaina to have to go to all that. I do feel sorry for them, okay? Let's get that out of the way. But all things considered, this is already the best possible outcome and best possible solution, considering everything that we have seen so far, and considering the circumstances and the looking at it from a more practical perspective, right? So what I'm trying to say here is, yeah, it's tough luck, but at the very least, you guys made you guys got the best possible outcome. Now, certainly, Elaina could feel sorry for herself and think that, hey, she could have done something more and all that, but let's be honest here. She couldn't really have done anything more. Again, I listed all the various outcomes, right? Letting her loose, not exactly a good plan. Elaina killing Selena herself, not exactly a good plan either. So unless she suddenly, overnight, finds a way to do time travel magic to instantly travel another 7 or so or 10 years back to the past to when Selena was starting to get abused, or somehow she was able to, go back in. Yeah, I think that's the only possible best outcome here, right? And certainly that is unfeasible. So, you know, I guess it's human nature, right? It's human nature to sort of have tears of regret and all that. But no, I just want to say, like, if I were there, I'd probably say, Elaina, you did the best that you could. This is entirely not on you. There was nothing else you could have done. This is already the best possible outcome. So don't get yourself too worked up over it. You're sure you can feel sad, you can feel that this is a tragedy and all that, but stop hitting yourself over something or blaming yourself over something that is totally out of your control, and there's really nothing you can do about the entire situation. So I think that's the main conclusion I want to make out of all of this. But it is kind of, I do recognize that this is looking at it from a sort of very cold, calculating perspective. But we sometimes have to face the facts, right? So I mean, we can disagree and whatnot, but sure, I'm certainly open to hearing if there are better solutions or anything. If not, well, I think we can just agree that this is probably for the best. Anyways, that's it for episode 9 of Majo no Tabitabi. We'll have to see next episode if we continue to get stories like this one. I certainly wouldn't mind, even though it's dark and all that, but it does keep things fresh and entertaining, right? Of course, if we go back to the more lighthearted comedy sort of route, I would be fine as well. So, thank you guys, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.